Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to today's video. I am officially back. I got back from New York City last Wednesday afternoon. As some of you may or may not know, I did get married out there. I spent 1 week in New York City and it was absolutely fantastic. It was a pure dream. There definitely is a vlog coming your way. I was sure to bring my camera with me pretty much everywhere, and I'm actually really happy that I did that because now I have those memories forever. There was 18 of us out there. About half of us stayed at an Airbnb in the Upper East Side in this fantastic brownstone townhouse on a street corner, and it was better than I could have ever imagined. Let's just say that. So we're going to be chit-chatting. I'm going to do a get ready with me. We're going to talk about the wedding, and I'm also going to talk about a couple of other things as well. I just have a lot to get off my chest, things to share with you guys, and I'm feeling very chatty, and I thought that this would be perfect timing since this is my first video back. So I am hoping to be back on schedule and giving you guys regular uploads, kind of feeling things out. I do have a huge house project coming up this summer, so we plan on pretty much remodeling everything in this house. We're ripping up carpet. We are redoing a kitchen, bathrooms, a front porch area, painting. Oh, it's gonna be quite a bit. So we will see what I can finagle in there and what I can upload, but I promise you guys we will be back to somewhat of a normal schedule. I'm going to be using the makeup that I used on my wedding day. I thought that that would be kind of fun. Obviously, since I'm going to be chatting, it will be a little bit hard for me to stay on topic and tell you guys what I'm using, so I will list everything here somewhere on the screen as I'm applying it to my face. It's kind of interesting because some of the makeup that I ended up using, I actually didn't intend to. I brought it with me on a whim thinking, maybe I'll try this makeup a couple of days and see how it works out. I was actually pretty shocked at the foundation that I ended up using and how well it held up. I did make an Instagram post about that, but enough of the intro chatter. Let's just go ahead and get into it. Let's chat and let's get some makeup on my face. So I didn't use a primer or anything. I just went right in with foundation. Now, before I do get chatty and tell you guys about the wedding, the foundation that I did end up using was the Too Faced Do You foundation. Last summer, when this launched, I actually did a dedicated review on this foundation and I liked it, but then after that, I kind of set it aside and I never used it again. I don't know what it was. Something told me to pack this in my travel bag. The first full day that we were there, I believe last Thursday it was, I used this and my sisters and my aunt and even my husband was like, what do you have on your face? It held up. That was like one of the hottest days, you guys. It's so strange because this is a dewy foundation. It does say that it is long wearing, but oh my goodness, it never looked oily, heavy, cakey, never broke up. I mean, it held up in like 86-degree weather and it was humid and sunny. I wore it all day, easily over 12 hours, never really touched anything up, and insane. So that's why I ended up wearing this on my wedding day. So I used it in the shade Golden Beige, and I remember when I initially purchased it, it was a little bit too dark for me at the time, but I do have color going, and that was part of the reason why I brought it with me. So it worked out nonetheless. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the wedding. So last Wednesday we flew out, not last Wednesday, the Wednesday before. Yes, we flew out. Our flight was delayed. I did not expect that to happen, but it was delayed. It was my sister Lindsay's first time flying. So she was kind of a nervous wreck about it because it was just like this anticipation. We were taxiing forever, stuck on the runway, and it kind of put a damper on the first day we were there because she was only staying, her and my other sister Bianca and my aunt Sherry, they were only staying until Monday. So they had like 5 days or whatever to be out there, and they, were hoping to be able to do something the first day that we got there. But by the time we arrived in Newark, in New Jersey, Newark National Liberty Airport, I think it's called. Wow. It was pretty late and we didn't even get to the Airbnb and settled, I want to say till like 9:30, and we were exhausted because obviously we had been at the airport because the flight was delayed over 2 hours. We had been at the airport forever waiting. I mean, arriving on time, 2 hours prior to the flight that when it was supposed to take off. So we were exhausted. But anyways, it was kind of interesting because being there, we ended up, we didn't really know, we weren't familiar with the area that the Airbnb was in that we got, but it was in the Upper East Side, and we couldn't have asked for a more perfect spot. Literally right down the street, there was a little bar restaurant called The Spotted Dog. There was a pizza place called Lunetta, which was just like your typical walk-in pizza by the slice joint. They had some other things like wings and stuff like that, some pasta dishes, but it was so good. It was perfect. That's what we ended up eating that night, was pizza. So we went to Lunetta, picked up some slices, brought it back to the Airbnb, and just pretty much reveled in the fact that we were all in New York City, and most of us for the very first time. Obviously, I had been there before, but it was my sister, Bianca, my aunt, my best friend Sarah was there. It was her first time, and it was perfect. It was the perfect end to an awesome evening. Obviously, with the vlog, I will share with you guys more, you know, like what the Airbnb looked like. I did do like a walkthrough and all that, so I'll be able to share that with you guys and show you what it looked like. We went to so many spots that next day. So Thursday, we went and got the marriage license, which was really exciting, and there were so many people getting married right there at the county clerk, or the city clerk's office, they called it, which is basically like their city hall. There were so many people getting married in there, so there was like tons of people in wedding dresses of all different types of ethnicities, cultures. It was really cool to see. So as we were waiting for our number to get called, because you can imagine it's wedding season in New York City and pretty much everywhere. June is a very popular month to get married. There were so many people just getting married right there in the city hall. So it was very cute to see, made me really happy. Obviously, it put me even more in the mood and got me excited to get my marriage license. So that was awesome. But that day, we went to the Glossier store. You guys, it was probably one of the coolest experiences with cosmetics that I have ever had. I did vlog that as well, so I will be sharing that with you. Fast forward to the actual wedding. So I was stalking the weather probably like a month prior to even leaving. I was looking at the AccuWeather, weather.com, looking at predictions based on, you know, weather over the weekend of, or the week of July, or excuse me, wow, June, I don't even know what month it is, June the 8th, just trying to see, you know, what the weather would be like and what to expect. I picked June because there is a story behind this, and I will share it with you. I picked the month of June because I actually got engaged, as some of you might not know, in New York City in 2017, and I got engaged right out front of Starry Night. So we went to the Museum of Modern Art, and my fiance, or my husband now, I'm still calling him my fiance, he proposed to me as we were viewing Starry Night at the Museum of Modern Art at MoMA. It was a beautiful moment. It was actually a dream of mine to be proposed to at an art gallery. I have a huge obsession with Van Gogh. Artistically, he has been like a huge inspiration. I'm just infatuated with the story of his life and his paintings and everything. And he had wrote a letter to his brother Theo talking about painting Starry Night and describing the colors that he would need to start producing some of these paintings that he made when he was at the asylum. I'm not going to get too crazy into that, but he was in like a mental asylum for a portion of his life that he admitted himself to. And he talked essentially about painting Starry Night, and that was in June of 1889, I believe. So I was like, that's it. I have to be married in the month of June. It was just very symbolic, and I have, you know, a connection to that. I also have a tattoo on my arm that is Infinity on High. I've talked about that on my channel as well. It actually has a lot of meaning behind it as well. There's ties to Van Gogh, Fall Out Boy, my favorite band, blah, blah, blah. You guys get it. So that's why I decided to get married in the month of June. And I also thought, because I wanted to get married in New York City, in the month of June, on average, they only have about 8 days of like full-on precipitation. So I was like, perfect. My chances of at least dry weather were very, very good, and it worked out perfectly. So I'd been looking at the weather, and of course, leading up to it, you know, it was saying that it was supposed to rain and all this stuff. And I was like, great, you know, of course, this is what would happen to me. You know, you just start to have a lot of doubt. I kind of turned into a little bit of a bridezilla, I would say, leading up to the days before my wedding. I was very, very nervous. I planned all of it from afar. I had a wedding planner who was fantastic. Oh my God, she was great. If any of you are wanting to get married or know someone who wants to get married in Central Park in New York City, check out a Central Park wedding. That's who I went through. They were absolutely fantastic. This is not sponsored or featured in any way, shape, or form. I just used them, and they were the best. She was so good. Her name was Jennifer, and I couldn't have asked for a better person to coordinate all this for me. June 8th was the day. Woke up, beautiful weather, you guys. There was not a cloud in the sky. 80 degrees as a high. There was really no humidity. It was pretty warm though, I will say. It was quite warm, I'm not gonna lie. I had a strapless dress, thank goodness, because anything up here, oh my God. I actually wore my hair down, and it was funny because when I showed people pictures at work, some of the snapshots that some of my friends and family had made, because obviously I don't have the professional photos back quite yet, but they saw, you know, they were like, oh my God, is that you? Because even in my videos, I always wear my hair up. Beautiful ceremony. We did the first look. So we spent the first half hour, 45 minutes prior to the actual ceremony that took place at Wisteria Pergola, which is in the Conservatory Gardens, taking pictures of just me and Jeremy. So we did a first look. We kind of walked around the gardens, made a huge, you know, made a lot of snapshots of just us walking together, and I cannot wait to see them. She said it would take about 4 weeks to get the photos back, and I'm so excited. I cannot wait to share those with you guys. There was this dude the whole time that saw me and Jeremy and the photographer. He had his cell phone out and he was recording the entire thing. It was really strange and kind of freaky, actually. Like, he stood off to the side. So when you get married in Central Park, they can only secure so much of an area because obviously it's a public place. This guy took it upon himself to stand where he was allowed to stand. We're talking even during the actual ceremony when the officiant was speaking. This dude took it upon himself to record and take photos of us, and it was getting kind of annoying. And after the ceremony was done and we were walking down the steps around the pergola to get down to the garden where we actually took all of our, you know, family photos and everything after the ceremony, my photographer like literally stood in front of him and was taking photos of him. It was hilarious. Like, he would not get lost. My wedding planner even tried to say something to him because she was there, you know, kind of helping with the whole thing. Her assistant was with, she tried to say something. Finally, my friend Sarah was like, can you not? And was like telling him to get lost. Finally, after a second time, my wedding planner Jennifer went up to the guy again, and he finally left. Like, it was so weird. Like, who stands there? And I get that people want to see weddings and they, you know, it's out in public and it's magical. It's out in Central Park. It's a beautiful day. You know, maybe someone wants to share it on Instagram or whatever, but how awkward and strange. Like, we're strangers. I have no idea who the hell you are. You don't know who I am. And to go as far as to like videoing and taking photos with your cell phone of the entire event, like, ew. That was just, it was really creepy and weird. Finally, he did get lost, but we took photos out on the Conservatory Garden lawns. It was beautiful. After that, we headed to dinner at Celestine, which is a restaurant that is situated underneath the Manhattan Bridge. What I had initially planned for was to have my wedding dinner at Ruby Rosa, which was my favorite Italian restaurant pizza joint that we ate the last time we were in New York City in 2017, November. We just fell in love with it. It was delicious, amazing. It was iconic to us. We were going to eat there. Well, then when I had reached out to them several months ago, the time that I needed wasn't available. So plan B, had to work something out. And I found this place called Celestine, which was like kind of like I want to say like a Greek kind of type restaurant. The one thing that I learned through the whole process was that things that I felt were not working out worked out for the best. We got the most amazing photos outside of this restaurant. The view, like, we were situated in the corner of this restaurant and you could see the Manhattan Bridge. Like, it was right there. You could see the New York City skyline. I mean, it was unreal. It felt like it was like my fairy tale was coming true. Like, I get choked up talking about it because it was a beautiful moment, and I'm actually sad. I went through kind of like a post-wedding depression, I call it. Like, you guys, I cried. Like, I was crying Tuesday night, the last night we were there. I was crying on the flight home because it was just like, I was so happy and so full of emotion that it worked out the way that it did, that everything went so well, and how everything fell into place, and how all these things that I had to replan for, it was like, it was a blessing. It was meant to be. It was so fantastic and beautiful. I have so much footage to share with you guys. I cannot wait to show you guys everything. There's so many pictures. I do have to say, setting spray break. I tried to talk through that. What was I thinking? I do have to say my favorite thing would have to be the sightseeing tour that we did on Sunday. Sunday before we left, we went on what they called like a circle line. I think that was the name or the branding of it. Sightseeing tour that took us, and it was a sunset tour. It took us all down the Hudson. It took us past Hoboken, the Statue of Liberty, under the Manhattan Bridge, Brooklyn Bridge, circled around, and we got to get like, I mean, it felt like we were this far away from like Manhattan. Manhattan. Like, it was crazy. We could see the entire city skyline. We got some fantastic photos. It was just so breathtakingly beautiful to see the city from that angle and to be that close and to actually look at it from afar. It was almost like I felt like I was like in a mini drone and I was flying just all around the city, like seeing these beautiful, breathtaking views. And it just gave you like a whole new perspective and respect for the city. It was stunning. So the trip, you guys, was fantastic. I loved it. Best memories. I'm already planning like how I can go back and revisit it. We obviously didn't go on a honeymoon right away. I'm waiting because I live in Minnesota and the weather here is absolutely dreadful in the wintertime. So we're gonna wait probably to go in February or something like that when we want to get the hell out of here. And it will be nice too to get out of the winter blues and to just kind of, you know, settle down again and reabsorb and enjoy each other and go to a tropical warm place. I haven't decided exactly yet. I'm thinking we're aiming for Florida, Florida Keys, something like that. That's not too crazy. I already have like for like a 5-year anniversary. I would love to go to Greece. I want to go to Santorini. So we're thinking something like that. But anyway, so I do want to move into, I want to talk a little bit about the Jaclyn Hill lipstick stuff. I did order them, have them right here in front of me. I was debating on doing a dedicated video on this. I debated on, you know, just incorporating it into a get ready with me, which is actually what my best friend Sarah suggested. And I thought that that was a good idea because there are so many videos on it already, but I do want to share something about that. Here's the deal. So I had made a post yesterday on the YouTube community tab saying that, you know, I was going to come back today. I was going to be sharing a video. I was going to be talking about the Jaclyn Hill lipsticks. And somebody made a comment saying like, what's the point, essentially, that there's already so many videos out on this. What new information could I possibly have? You know, at this point, I would just be dragging Jaclyn down. To me, that kind of a mindset is so wrong. Just because there's other videos out about a subject doesn't mean that my voice or the things that I have to say on a subject wouldn't matter. It's actually kind of insulting to me. You know, I might not have new information. I might not have gone inside of Jaclyn's lab. I may have actually nothing new to say. But I do have an experience. I did have my own personal experience, can I talk, with the situation, with customer service, with the products that I received. And maybe there are subscribers of mine who have been waiting and want to hear my viewpoint on it. Guess what? Not every single video I upload is going to cater to every single one of my subscribers. If you're not interested in the product that I'm reviewing, that's totally fine. I don't take offense to that. Catch you on the next video. It's not a big deal, but there are certain things with products and with makeup that I feel is important to bring to my viewers, to my subscribers, that are important to me. Oh, great, and look what I just did. I just touched my brow pencil to my forehead. Fantastic. I'm gonna let that dry and then I'll remove it. I'm so sorry if you have OCD, but if I try to move it now, it's going to spread everywhere. Anyways, what I was saying was that there's tons of reviews all the time. That's the point of a review, is that you can pick and choose who you want to look and see who has a review. But that's how you make smart purchasing choices as a consumer, is that you do your research and you gather reviews and viewpoints from different people because you want to consider every experience. I'm sure that there are people, which I've seen, who have had nothing but a fantastic, positive, perfect experience with the Jaclyn Hill lipstick launch. Their lipsticks were perfect. They didn't have any lumps or bumps, hairs, anything in their lipstick. And guess what? That's perfectly fine. And that needs to be considered because it's important. And I respect that experience that someone else might have. I don't know. It just really kind of rubbed me the wrong way and just kind of, it really irritated me. A lot of times I try not to let certain comments or things get to me. But something like that, it was just like, so because other people have brought up their opinion on a topic, and maybe because I don't have something totally new to say, that I don't have the right or I don't have the need to use my platform to talk about it. I don't think that's fair. I think that that's ridiculous. I couldn't even help it. I wasn't even in town. How could I literally got my lipsticks Tuesday, which was the day, and I was working before I left for New York City. There would have been no possible way that I could have recorded and made a thorough good review for you guys in that shorter period of time, edited it, and got it up for you before I had to leave for the airport at like 9 a.m. the next morning. You know what I mean? Come on, that's not really fair. It was out of my control. I couldn't control how quickly the lipsticks got to me. Now that I've got that out of the way and how much that kind of just bugged me and rubbed me the wrong way, I want to share with you quickly the experience that I had with Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics, or Jaclyn Cosmetics, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Here's the experience. So I ordered 2 of the same trio. It was the Nude Moment trio. That's what I ordered. And the reason why I ordered 2 of them is because my friend, who I also work with, she wanted a trio as well. So I said, I will order them. I will get on the website when they launch, and I will get the lipsticks for us. So I ordered the 2 trios and the 2 single lipsticks, and I paid $12 for the expedited shipping. The reason why I did that was because I knew that I would be leaving, and I was hoping to get them sooner than later so that I could make the review for you guys before I left for New York City. Now, days went by, and I got kind of concerned because I was seeing posts on Instagram of people who were like, I just got my lipsticks. I can't believe I got them so quickly. And I actually talked to a girl and I said, hey, we were, chatting on a thread, and I said, did you pay for expedited shipping? And she said, no. I couldn't believe how quickly it got here. So I was like, all right, whatever, maybe she lived close to where the distributing area was, whatever, fine. Well, then I kept seeing more and more and more instances of where people were getting their lipsticks and they were not paying for the expedited shipping. I didn't even message customer service. I didn't complain about it. I just let it go because it's a launch, and I was, being pretty understanding. It's her first launch. It's her brand. Maybe something got messed up, that there was a reason why people who didn't pay for expedited shipping were getting their stuff faster. I just wasn't about to be picky with it. I had way too much on my mind, too much going on. End of story. So finally I got it Tuesday. I got my package, and lo and behold, I opened it up and I am literally missing half of my order. Now, I was not notified that my order would be coming in separate shipments or anything like that. It was 1 of 1, package 1 of 1, and I even checked on the inventory slip and it did say, Nude Moment Trio ×2, Hustle, and As If. So what I was missing was As If, the shade As If, which was the single shade that I purchased, as well as a Nude Moment Trio. So I was missing an entire trio and the single lipstick. So again, like I said, half my order was missing. I messaged customer service, and again, this was Tuesday. I messaged them right away to let them know. I finally got a message later on Wednesday. I think it was like Wednesday evening. Obviously at that point I was on a plane, asking me to send a photo of the items that I actually did receive. And I thought that was kind of silly, because here's the thing. Let's say by some crazy reason, someone wanted to lie and claim that they only got half their order. Well, they would just eliminate half the order and send them a photo of what they actually received. So I wrote back and said, well, technically I'm in New York City right now. I can't do that, but here's what you can do. You can check the weight of the shipment. So when anything is sent out from whatever warehouse, it doesn't matter where you're ordering from, whenever anything is shipped out, there is a weight the package should clock in at. So in their system, they know how much it should weigh, and then there's actually what it weighs out at when it goes out to the customer. So I said, you can check the weight. You will see that the package was not on par weight-wise with what it should have been, considering what was ordered. So I got an email back that said, we can refund you for these items because they're no longer in stock at this point, or you can wait until the items are back in stock and then we will ship them out to you. Now, this trio and this separate lipstick happened to be the order of my friend. And she even said, I know technically we ordered the same trio, but she said, you wanted to hopefully have them also on your wedding day. You take it just, if you would do me a favor and just talk to customer service for me because I did the order, that'd be great. So that's what I did. Obviously, she told me that she's like, I'll take the refund. And I said, fine. We took the refund, and part of that was because everything also started to come out about these lipsticks. We started to hear about the grainy texture, the little hairs, all of that. And then Jaclyn had also made a comment that she was going to fix the issue. So I thought, you know what, let's just wait. That's fine, because I wanted the lipsticks and so did she. So they refunded me. I did get that. They also refunded me right away for the shipping that I paid. This was pretty quick, you guys. This was over the span of just a few days, which I was pretty impressed with. They got back to me pretty quickly. I mean, considering all of the inquiries I can imagine that they were getting, I have to say the positive was how quickly they responded to me and how quickly I was able to get my refund. I mean, in less than a week's time, in just a few days, I was able to get that back. On my wedding day, I actually wore the shade Perfectionist, which is this shade right here. Upon first use, everything seemed fine. I didn't have any fuzzies or hairs, and I couldn't even see a grainy texture to begin with. To me, my lipsticks worked and looked beautiful. Now, the more that I used it, because I did use it a lot on my trip actually, because I love the colors. Let me just preface with that. I think that the shades and how this was curated was incredible. Jaclyn hit the nail on the head with how she came up with her shades, you know, and the things that she said, the same complaints that I always had with a nude lipstick was it's, you know, they're always too pink or they're too caramely. There's always that mauvey undertone. I can't find something that is just straight up nude, like a brown nude or something that doesn't lean one way or the other. So with the lipsticks I got, as far as the shades, the opacity, how they wore, I was impressed with it. I absolutely loved it. The consistency, everything was fine. The more I used it, I started to notice the little beads. Now, I've seen this in lipstick before. It wasn't the first time. I actually own other lipsticks that I bought from other brands where you kind of get that grainy texture. In my head, I always just assumed that it simply had something to do with the fact that when they mixed the formulas, either the temperature wasn't right, something didn't melt properly, and it solidified, and you're left with this weird grainy texture. To me, like I said, I've seen it before. I started to notice though that these beads were getting hard. Now, what I've seen before is that normally when you would put on a lipstick with that grainy texture, it would kind of melt with body heat. It would go, you know what I mean? It would start to melt into the skin. Mine weren't doing that. I could feel it. So I actually picked some of the beads out, and they're these hard, round balls. At this point, I was kind of bummed because I thought that I was one of those lucky people who got perfect lipsticks, that there was nothing wrong with them. I took photos, but before I even sent them, I just notified customer service. I messaged them again when I got home and told them what was going on. They did then ask me to supply pictures, which I did. They then quickly messaged me back and said, we will refund you for the product. They did also say, now we will also be sending you replacement product as it becomes available. Now, I was kind of shocked by this and kind of taken aback. I'm like, wait a minute. You are not only going to be giving me my money back, and I've messaged back asking, just to make sure clear, because I'm like, I want to make sure I'm understanding properly, but you are also going to be sending me new product. In my mind, I believe that this would technically be the right thing to do, considering all of what's been going on. And if you want to build the trust back with the community and your fans, to me, this would be a smart move. I don't know if she has some sort of insurance on this. I have no clue, you guys. I have no clue how makeup production works. I have no clue about any of this. I've never been in a lab. I have no chemistry background. Those types of things I cannot comment on. I can't comment on the white gloves, how the vats are cleaned. I can't comment on any of that. So I'm not going to. I'm not even going to speculate on any of this. All I know, and what I want to tell you guys and be honest with, is that whatever customer service is doing to deal with this, from my personal experience, I am pleased with that avenue. They have not given me excuses. They have not told me that the lipsticks, oh, don't worry, they're safe to use. They haven't reiterated that to me. They're literally satisfying my wishes in basically refunding my money. I would be happy to send them back. I did mention that. They said, nope, we're just going to go ahead and refund you. So that was pretty much what I wanted to share with you guys. I do have a photo that I took. It's probably not the greatest, and I hope you can see. I shared this on Twitter and on my Instagram, showing basically grainy texture in my lipsticks. I think I showed Perfectionist and Sophia from the trio. One thing I did want to comment on as well when I got home, because like I mentioned, I had also ordered that single shade Hustle. I didn't have a chance to play with that one at all, and I did not bring that one with me on the trip, so I didn't get to play with it or use it. But that one, I did notice, had a very odd smell compared to the scent of the trio that I did receive. I also want to say that the scent of these, the texture of them, the way that they wear, and I haven't really watched many other reviews on these lipsticks because, like I said, I've been busy. I haven't really had the time. I've only seen talk on Twitter and everything, and I don't know if anyone else has even mentioned this or talked about it, but it reminds me so much of MAC. The scent, the formula, it's like a more opaque version of their Cream Sheen formula. That's what it reminds me of. Just, again, the overall scent, texture, everything, the way that the lipsticks behave, remind me so so much of the cream sheen lipsticks from MAC. I can't stress that or say that enough. I mean, did anyone else notice this? Did you guys order them? Did you feel the same way? Because I did. I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. I'm like, these are so much like MAC lipsticks. It's insane. Now, I know Jaclyn obviously worked at MAC, and maybe there was some inspiration there. No, I'm not saying she copied them. I thought it was kind of interesting that there were so many similarities to it. But anyways, that's my experience. I did feel that it was worthwhile sharing that with you guys to let you know. I am glad that customer service is refunding people. I'm glad that customer service is not requiring people to send their product back, that providing a photo has been good. Obviously, everyone's going to have their opinion on what they're saying about how they keep telling everyone how safe the product is to use. People are going to have their opinions on that. I don't know if the product is safe to use or not. Again, I'm not there. I don't know where she got her documentation from. People are scrutinizing that. But I do have to say, the point of me sharing my experience and my take on this is not to tear Jaclyn down. I'm not commenting on that at all. I'm not here to tell her she's a piece of trash. I'm not here to totally obliterate her launch, her brand, to say anything of the sort. Again, I do have my opinions though. I do wish that, in my opinion, this would have been pulled. I wish that she would have just recalled it after seeing all of the reviews and photos that did come out. I feel like that would have been a good move on her part personally. Again, I don't know the logistics behind all that, what would be required to do something like that, to issue an actual recall on something. I don't know what goes through with the FDA with that whole thing. But to me, I feel like if people were saying, and like, again, I heard comments of people having reactions and all that sort of thing, that maybe it might have been a smart idea to recall these products and make it right. Go back to your lab, shut everything down until you can really zone in and figure out what the problem was. Because at the end of the day, you know, if it were me, speaking from a standpoint, if it was me and it was my brand, my integrity, how my subscribers and my customers feel about my brand, building that trust to begin with is huge. This is your first launch of a product from your own brand. Now, everyone can comment and say everything that she's launched before in the past has always had a problem. They weren't her brand. They weren't her lab. It was her name. She picked out shades. That was it, you guys. It's totally different than her own brand bombing and making, you know what I mean, issue. And when I say different, meaning, yeah, maybe her other launches didn't go smoothly, but this one, she has actual control over. She has the power to make those decisions, to pull something off the shelves, to take it back, and to make it right. Refunding, awesome, great. Fast customer service response, which is what I'm experiencing. Again, great, fantastic, blah, blah, blah. We get it. But I mean, just the comments of telling people that things are safe to use, made with FDA ingredients, the whole thing. How far can we go with that? Especially considering people are having reactions. Do I think that I will order anything of Jaclyn's from her brand in the future? I have no clue, to be honest with you. To me, it almost seems like, in my opinion, the right thing isn't quite yet being done. Like I said, I think that a recall would have been in place because of so many issues. One thing I did notice that was funny is I remember when she released the Vault with Morphe, and there was that whole mess going on. And there was that same response that there was only 0.1 or so of these products being returned or having problems. That was the same response with this launch, saying that there was only so many, you know, units that were affected by this, that the product that was coming back, that overall people are pleased with their product. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. With food, if food even tests, for example, positive anywhere in a factory, and even if people didn't get sick for a contaminant, possible illness, whatever, that whole batch and anything that came out of that particular factory ends up being recalled because of the risk. So again, that's just what I find kind of strange. I don't know the requirements of this. I don't know what the FDA requires or would be mandatory for a recall on something. These are the things that I don't know and that I personally haven't heard discussed a lot from professionals. In fact, it would be kind of interesting to know what would become a forced recall or a mandatory recall of a product from cosmetics when there's issues like this that arise. That would be interesting. Like, when does the FDA, or do they even step in and say, hey, you know, we're blowing the whistle here, these products are not safe. So there's that. So that's my opinion. I'm curious to those who are my subscribers who actually ordered the lipsticks, what experience you had. I would like to hear from someone, maybe if you subscribe or you're watching this video and you had a perfect scot-free experience, meaning that you had nothing wrong with your product, your lipsticks were absolutely perfect, fantastic. I would love to hear that viewpoint, because I mean, I've seen some, but I haven't seen a lot. So I used the, moving on from that topic, I got what I needed to off my chest. I used the Too Faced Natural Lust palette. It's funny because when I saw this palette when it launched, I kind of almost knew that this was going to be the palette I was going to wear on my wedding day. I just love the shades and how romantic they are. And the packaging just totally got me in like this romantic wedding day mood. It's just so beautiful. And the giant mirror on the inside came in total handy because inside my Airbnb, you guys, it was so weird. All of the mirrors were mounted like tall, like across the walls. And I had to like stand on my tippy toes to see myself because I'm super short. I'm only 5'3" for those who didn't know. But this mirror came in handy in this palette because I actually needed it. I didn't bring another handheld mirror with me or anything. So that worked out perfectly. All right, now, for the sake of what I wore on my wedding day, you guys, I did wear the shade Perfectionist on my lips on my wedding day. This is the lipstick from Jaclyn Hill that I wore. No, I'm not promoting this. No, I'm not telling you to go purchase this lipstick when it becomes available, but I am going to show you. I just want to give you guys the complete look of the makeup. I just dabbed it on like this. I'm gonna be honest. This is the lipstick that I wore on my wedding day. Dabbing it on so I don't get any of those beads on my lips. Yes, I'm risking my health right now. Risking my health for the sake of this video. So there you guys have it. This is the makeup that I wore on my wedding day. Super nostalgic already to just see this makeup on my face once again. It held up. It was perfect. It was absolutely amazing. It was a beautiful day. So yeah, there you guys have it. On Monday, I'm not quite sure what video I'm going to have up. I did pre-record a video talking about the worst makeup that I've used. So I had like a huge bin of like, well, the bad bin of makeup. So let me know if you guys are interested in seeing something like that. I did also order a ton of Pacifica makeup from Ulta. I saw Tati review that foundation and it totally intrigued me. I was like, ooh, I want to try that out for myself. So I ordered that, an eyeshadow palette, a face palette, a mascara, a setting powder, a concealer. So let me know if you want to see that or when you want to see things, or in general, what videos, what products do you want to see me review? Leave me a comment down below. I love you guys so, so much. It feels so good to be back. Thank you for your patience and sticking around. I love you guys so much, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye, guys.